Fear is a visitor in our lives. It often comes without an invitation. It arrives in small ways. It arrives in big ways. Sometimes fear is a loud, banging drum. It demands all of our attention. Other times it is a quiet, persistent whisper. It is a slow hum in the back of our minds. Fear tells us to stay safe. Fear says, do not try. Fear says, do not risk what you have. Fear wants everything to stay the same. It builds a small, familiar room around us. It keeps us inside. It keeps us away from the bright light of new possibilities. Courage is not the opposite of fear. It is not the absence of that feeling. Courage is the choice we make when we feel that fear. It is the decision to act anyway. Courage is a small step forward into the unknown. Sometimes courage is just taking one deep breath. Sometimes courage is a single, simple move. The day you choose courage over fear is a bright day. It is a day that can change the entire direction of your life. It is the moment when a new story begins to be written, one you have a hand in creating. Imagine this scene for a moment. You are standing right at a closed door. Behind that door is something new. It is something you want. Maybe it is a new job. Maybe it is a new relationship with a person. Maybe it is a dream you have held for years. Your hands tremble just a little. Your heart is a loud drum in your chest. You can hear the voice of fear. Fear lists all the reasons to stop. It tells you what could go wrong, but then you imagine what is beyond that door. You imagine growth. You imagine joy. You imagine a fuller life. You put your hand on the cold knob. You turn it. This is courage. This is the first step. That single action, that turn of the knob, is the exact moment. It is the pivot point. It is where your life changes forever. Before that moment, you were standing still. You were held in place by doubt and worry. After that moment, you are in motion. You are moving towards something. The world often shows us courage as a huge, dramatic event. We see heroes in movies. We read about grand, historic gestures. But most of the time, real courage is not like that. Real courage is quiet. It is often unseen by anyone else. A truly brave act can be a small, almost invisible step, but that small step can change your entire path. It can be the one thing that sets a whole new life in motion. It is the first domino that falls, leading to a chain reaction of positive change. One small, brave act is all it takes to begin. Think about what this looks like in daily life. It could be saying yes to a new task at work, a task that feels a little beyond your current skills. It could be admitting a mistake you made. It could be asking someone for help when you feel lost. It could be finally signing up for that hobby you have thought about for years. It could be walking to a new part of your neighborhood, or making a short phone call you have been avoiding for weeks. These acts seem tiny on the surface. They are not grand, but their ripples can run incredibly deep. Think of a single seed. The seed sits in the dark, cool soil. It waits. It is safe in its hard shell. Nothing can touch it, nothing can harm it, but nothing can help it grow either. It is in a state of perfect safety, perfect stagnation. This is what life is like when we let fear make all of our decisions. We are safe inside our shell, but we are not truly living. We are not growing toward the light. We are just waiting in the dark, unchanging and unfulfilled. Then one day something shifts. The seed begins to break. It pushes through the hard outer shell. This is a moment of great risk. The seed is now vulnerable. It uses all of its energy for this one push. This is the brave step. It is a low and quiet act happening beneath the surface where no one can see it. Fear is clever. It is not a simple monster. It is a skilled debater. It makes many convincing reasons for you to stop. It uses your past pain as evidence. It paints a detailed picture of your future worries. It will whisper in your ear, you might fail. It will say, people might judge you if you try this. It will warn you, you might lose what you already have. Fear's main job is to protect you from harm. It wants to keep you in a state of safety and predictability. It means well, in its own way, but there is a problem with this kind of protection. While fear is busy keeping you safe, it can also steal your greatest chances. It can keep you from the things you want most in your life. It can convince you that your dreams are too risky. It can persuade you that you are not good enough to pursue them. Fear builds a fence around your potential. It tells you that the small yard you are in is the only world that exists. Many people believe that courage is the total absence of fear. They think that to be brave, you must first eliminate all feelings, anxiety, doubt. But this is not true. This is a misunderstanding that can keep us stuck. Courage and fear can, and often do, live together. Courage does not erase fear. Courage simply walks forward with fear by its side. You can be afraid and still act. This is the fundamental truth of bravery. You do not have to wait for the fear to go away. Think of it like this. Fear is a passenger in your car. It is sitting in the passenger seat. It is very loud. It points out potential dangers on the road ahead. Slow down, turn back, it's not safe. You cannot kick fear out of the car. It is part of the human experience, but you do not have to let it grab the steering wheel. I am still moving forward. Let us look at 3 simple stories. Each story shows a small, brave step and the big change that followed. They are real, everyday life examples. Story 1. Maria had a quiet voice. She loved to share ideas, but often hid in the background. She feared people wouldn't listen or would judge her. One day her boss asked her to lead a very short team meeting. Her first instinct was to say no. Her heart pounded. But something inside her decided to try. Maria said yes. Story 2. Sam loved to draw. He had stacks of sketchbooks. He kept them hidden in a drawer. He feared criticism. A friend saw his drawings and urged him to post just one picture online. He posted one simple drawing. Story 3. Leo was a young father with a very sick parent. He felt lost and overwhelmed. He feared failing his family. For days he did nothing. Then he chose one small action. He looked up a local health resource number. He made the call. Each of these stories shows this one powerful truth. One brave step opens doors. That first step is not the end of the journey. It is the very beginning. The first action you take makes the next action easier. Courage builds on itself like a snowball rolling downhill. It starts small, but it gathers momentum and grows larger with every turn. The first crack you make in the shell of your fear lets in a little bit of light. This light makes it easier to make the next crack and the next until the shell falls away completely. When you take that first brave step, you create evidence for yourself. You prove that you can survive the thing you were afraid of. You took the risk and you are still standing. This creates a small but powerful shift in your mindset. The next time you face a similar fear, you have a new memory to draw on. Choosing courage fundamentally changes your inner voice. When you consistently avoid things you fear, your inner voice becomes a critic. It says, I can't, I'm not good enough, it's too risky. But when you begin to act despite your fear, your mind learns a new story. The story begins to say, I can try, I can handle this, even if it's hard. This new story grows stronger and more confident with each brave step you take. As this happens, the voice of fear grows quieter, the voice of hope grows louder. You start to see new paths where you once saw only walls. Opportunities appear in places you never thought to look. This internal shift has a powerful effect on your external world. Courage changes how other people see you and interact with you. People notice honesty. They notice genuine effort. They admire steady, consistent steps forward. They remember the person who tried, even when they were afraid. This quiet admiration can open doors you never knew existed. So how do you choose courage in a simple, practical way? You start small. You pick one tiny, concrete action that you can take today. Make it so clear and so doable that you cannot talk yourself out of it. Here is a simple process. First, name the fear. Say it out loud. Make it a simple sentence. Second, identify one small step. Make it specific and measurable. Third, set a short deadline. Give yourself 5 minutes. Give yourself 1 hour. Give yourself until the end of the day. Fourth, take the step. No more thinking, just act. Finally, notice the result. Write one sentence about what happened. You will have days when fear wins. That is okay. That is part of being human. The goal is not perfection. The goal is to move forward more than you stay still. On the days you act, celebrate small wins, acknowledge your bravery. One brave step today changes everything.